Azadim! Azadim! Whoa! Whoa!
Here's your fucking cleric guide. So this is the idea about early game. You want to have your cap of knowledge in order to cast resurrection. So you go protection, small heal, big heal, and resurrection, and then you take one of these spells. Divine strike is good only in early game, or you take holy strike. So in the event that you find knowledge in game, other than the early set, you can cast a fifth spell, so you don't have it empty. You use Holy Purification only for leveling or learning bosses. I usually went with Judgment in early levels, but it's fine to go with Purification just to level faster to go in Highroller. Then for perks, you start with Advanced Healer, then you take Kindness, and then I usually go for Protection from Evil. Just reduce everything by 50%. It's very useful. If you do Leech, you don't hit the boss. Protection from Evil with Leech, you don't want to hit the boss at all. You kill only the skeletons and you heal your part. So the Leech will never put circles on you. I play with ping, so I take Requiem. I had people die on me in the swarm, but I think you totally can drop this if you don't have this problem. If you're not boosted like me, you can drop Requiem and you take Holy Aura. If you're on high-end gear, you can take Brewmaster if you want to drink ale and go save your team, or you can take Perseverance. Overall, I think it's good. We take Blunt Mastery only if we're miming with Wormhole, and I don't think we need more damage for Undead. I think PvE is not a threat game. Then for abilities, I go with Judgment. It's clunky and makes you clap, but still a safer damage from distance. Smite is useful only if you have magic damage gear and you do at least 3 hits on someone. Divine Protection has only physical damage reduction and it's 1 minute cooldown. We don't speak this. And Holy Purification is only for PvE and leveling. I don't play this in Highroller. It's either Judgment or sometimes Might, depending how you build. Then with heals, I always take Lesser Heal. Then Holy Light. I tried to drop Holy Light when I was playing with Rogue Ranger, for example. That's a kite comb that I safer, but I think you always take Holy Light. It's very nice to have 2 heals. You keep lesser heals for yourself and big heals for your team. Protection, you never drop this. It's too good. And then I take Resurrection. Resurrection is insane. I don't think going without it. I had fights when I resurrect in middle of team fight and a bit difficult to pick because Holy Strike scales very good and it's a good offensive spell. Earthquake is very strong in this movement cap meta. It's very good with Ranger also, maybe even with a Wizard. Bind is also very good but situational, and Divine Strike is only for early game. Bless we don't use, Cleanse we don't use, only if you're bossy. Locust is gutted, we don't play it, and Sanctuary is 50%. I don't think it's worth taking. Maybe if you run a safe comp like Fighter Ranger, and then you have combo with either Holy Strike Judgment and you almost kill everyone. It one-shots Rogue, Rangers, Wizard, and you can also try Bind with Judgment if you play a safe comp. Always prioritize plus all attributes because it gives you strength for HP and it gives you will, agility for movement, and knowledge for casting. So everything it gives you, it's good. Then you want knowledge. At least 30 have a decent casting speed, then you either go in strength, will, or the other stat. Strength helps you with survival and battle cleric, and you go will until 39. After 39, rewards from the stat are diminished. Magic healing is fixed. It works on allies as well now, and it also scales a bit from will. So magic healing is now actually viable. If you go with 5 magic healing, you could actually drop advanced healer and take another stat if you want. But I don't know, if you play with a barbarian, you might want this perk also. I think it's good. I don't think you drop advanced healer, but I'll have to test more. What I like to do is go in magic damage. I want to be a healing priest that also is like a shadow priest. I think a good combination would be somewhere around armor and healing and maybe some magic damage. If you have no magic damage, you can drop those and go for a bind build. So this is your main primary stat, and then you go for max HP and then the rest of them. Yeah, I don't think it's top prio, but I love it. Feeling of safety that even if Nerik and Buki dies, I can still have a play with magic damage to save the team. And then if you have magic pen, spellcast, movement speed or action damage, action speed and weapon damage, they're good to have, but I don't think they're a priority. Then you have 2 builds here. You can go either full PDR with lobster set, or you can go a combination of magic and movement speed with the cost of armor. So this makes you a little bit faster than the lobster set and you have a little bit more magic resist. Of course this will make you more prone to being shanked, but if you don't have problem with rogues, you're fine. It's still a good set. I think it's the best way to play, especially if you have a bard in team that gives you buffs of armor and magic resist. Okay, those are the comps. I think this is the safest comp you can play right now. Maybe swap the fighter for a barbarian if you have problem with wizards. Considering how overtuned the bard is, you can swap it in instead of fighter or barbarian, but I don't know for sure. Lindstrom is doing it with Smith and Nevix, so it works for them just because of the buffs. In this comp you want to play Earthquake and maybe Bind because you want to keep the ranger safe because he's gonna headshot and poke. If you kill the enemy wizard, it's pretty much GG. That's your only focus. Then the buff ball that is being gutted by the devs. With the recent wizard buffs that improved haste and invis, I think it's viable again. I'm not sure with the movement cap. It's so weird. You're hitting somebody in melee and he keeps running away and you can't do anything about it. It's weird. We have the replacement of wizard with a bard. That's turbo. You're trading the haste invis for movement speed buff or armor buffs. I think it's a good viable comp. It's strong. I played it with Constantine and FFA. You have a kite comp that relies on ambushing. You don't want your rogue to be seen in this comp, and you try to bait with your ranger. Maybe bait people in traps. As soon as the enemy passes the rogue shanks one guy and runs away, and then it's a 3v2 and you should win. This requires setup and game knowledge and multiple things, but I think it's still strong. It makes people not want to push you. Maybe push for middle room and camp there with traps and with rogue in invis. This is a meme build that relies on the clerics go full magic damage with damage spells, and they profit from the bard armor and movement speed. Maybe it's a meme now that the bard no longer gives clarity, and I need to rethink this. You could replace it with a wizard so it gives you ignite, so your weapon does a lot of magic damage. This is a meme, guys, okay? In the name of God. In mid game, you want to drop all spell cap gear. Spell cap is useless. You replace it with either knowledge or all attributes, and try to go towards plate gear or towards this mixed gear. So this is a lobster build with high PDR with shadow priest. This was my best gear that I ran. You always want to run a shield so you can block against wizard spells and arrows and melee attacks and PvE. You go with Morningstar so you can break boxes for loot because you're a cleric. And you try to go for all attributes, knowledge, movement speed, damage or PDR. This is pretty much how you want your set to look. Like this physical healing here is dog shit. It's basically non-existent. This is a blue necklace right here. This is also an epic ring. This is regular interaction, you don't care about it. Yeah, I'm gonna show some items now that I have. This is an example of what items I prioritized and I bought. You don't want to have wheel on items because you only want 39 wheel and you already have a high base of wheel. So you can itemize either from a piece from the gear or from rings or from all attributes. You don't want physical damage either. You don't want to base yourself on hitting enemies with your mace. You try to play safe and to do damage from distance and to heal. This would be only a last resort to go in have to melee fight. If you have to melee fight, it means you're losing the fight already. Same with weapon damage and physical damage bonus. But on Morning Stars, I usually just buy them for the base damage. So at the start of every wipe, I try to buy Morning Stars just so I can have a good weapon to kill PvE and help my team. Those Morning Stars that are blue are from early game. I still have them. I didn't lose them. This is a pre-nerf one with 47 damage. Okay, what else to show you here? Since we don't have magic knowledge rings, we try to buy strength ones, or in the worst case, wheel ones, only to hit our 39 wheel cap. This is a very good early and mid tier gloves. Those are actually insane. Hound School is very good. Ruby Silver Cuirasses with plus roll. I'm gonna skim through this, you can watch the picture later. Okay, this is the most important thing, guys, okay? You need to be like a mongoose, guys, okay? When your team is looting and killing PvE, you must make sure you're not getting jumped, guys. So you must be like a mongoose. You sit in a place and you look around. You try to keep shield on your team, you drink clarity pots. You're already in a wheelchair, you already loot very slow, there's no point in you looting anything. If you see a bronze chest, you can loot it, a heavy chest, you can loot it. If you have Morning Star, you can break crates and maybe pots. That's all you do. You don't loot small oak chests. You can loot gold chest and iron chest. If you don't have a ton sheet of lockpicks, you don't even lockpick. You just give your lockpicks to your ranger or rogue, or people who have high resourcefulness to loot for you, or bards, if they don't have the song. And then when you engage in a team fight, try to shield your team, and then try to push with a charged big heal, Holy Strike, or Lesser Heal. If you see there's an enemy rogue, or you don't know where the entire enemy team is, you always try to push with a Lesser Heal, because you assume you will get jumped by a rogue. And you want to heal yourself and call your team so they collapse on the rogue and kill it, winning you basically the fight. Okay guys, that's pretty much it to the guide.